Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to Recording Movies Recap. Today I will show you an action, mystery, sci-fi film from 2020, titled Boss Level. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Roy Pulver is a retired Delta Force soldier, currently going through the 139 version of this very same day. He is stuck in a time loop that resets every time he dies, and he has gone through it so many times, he has already learned the day's pattern by heart. Every morning at 7 a.m., a man breaks into his apartment and tries to kill him and the woman he slept with. Then, a helicopter with a gunman appears outside his window and shoots his apartment until it explodes. Roy knows exactly where and how to move to avoid all this, and jumps off the window to land on a truck filled with sand, which he had missed 22 times before he started to get it right. Then he hijacks a car and drives to escape two more assassins in a minivan. Roy does not know their names, so he calls them Pam and Esmeralda. These women chase him and shoot at him throughout the city, but Roy knows how to escape them as long as he does not get distracted, and remembers to dodge the bus. Since this time he does not, the day resets and restarts again. Only little details change during each loop, totally dependent on what Roy decides or forgets to do. Besides the guy at his apartment, the helicopter, and Pam, there are other assassins like Guanin, who usually kills him with a sword, Kaboom, a short man that plants a bomb on him, Smiley, who likes to kill him by impaling him with a lance and tying him to the back of his trunk, the German twins, and a guy that looks a lot like him, so he calls him Roy number 2. Sometimes he manages to kill some of them, but in the end, it does not matter, the others find him and kill him anyway. Roy thinks the one with the answers to explain what is going on is his ex-wife, but when he calls her office, the one to pick up the phone is her boss, Colonel Clive Venter, who tells him she has died in an accident, but Roy believes he has killed her. Sadly though, he never manages to live long enough to find out why. On the days he manages to escape the bus and Pam, Roy makes it to Jake's diner, where he must hurry to take a seat at the bar, or the last spot will be taken by Dai Feng, a world champion swordmaster that Jake has a crush on. Roy proceeds to get deeply drunk while listening to the man sitting next to him, Dave, talk about internal security and conspiracy theories. At 12:47, the assassins always find him and kill him right there in the middle of the diner, which means Roy has never made it even a minute past this point. If he does not come to the diner, then he just gets killed earlier. He has already tried as many alternate roads as possible. As he is shot once again by every single one of the assassins, Roy remembers the day before the time loop started. He is visiting his ex-wife Gemma Wells at her workplace, Dino Laboratories, after she left him a message asking him to come over because her company is hiring. However, she does not seem too interested in her resume or to reconnect after not seeing each other in a while. She just starts taking Roy's measurements and a sample of his hair, which draws blood when she pulls it. While Venter and his bodyguard Brett watch them through the security cameras, Roy asks Gemma about this weird machine she is working on, which she claims can unmake all time and space, and even destroy the planet if used improperly. Roy also brings up the matter of their son, who does not know he is his father, he just thinks Roy's a family friend. Begging to be heard, Roy tells Gemma he can accept having lost her when he chose work over her, but he deserves a chance to be in his son's life. Their talk is suddenly interrupted by Brett, who reminds Gemma this is a restricted area, but Gemma says she has got a special agreement with Venter. When Roy tries to give him his resume, Brett says they are not hiring, which means Gemma lied, but she sends him away before he could say more. Before Roy leaves the building, Gemma tells him she has sent him a birthday present that is incredibly important for him to open and that he should remember Osiris. Meanwhile, Venter does not like the fact Roy has seen and learned things about his experiments, so he orders Brett to deal with him by hiring random assets instead of trained soldiers so nobody can track the assassins back to them. Then he asks Gemma to come to his office and scolds her for having broken security protocols by inviting Roy over. When night falls, Roy goes to a bar and picks up a woman called Alice who works as a dental hygienist. She's just one more woman in a long line of conquests, and the bartender points out Roy will never be happy with these one-night stands because he never stops thinking about his ex-wife. While Alice is in the bathroom, he gets a call from Gemma, telling him she is about to do something drastic and she needs his help, but Venter cuts off their line before she can say more. Roy could tell Gemma sounded upset, but he still chooses to go back to his place with Alice instead of trying to reach her again. While Roy and Alice have fun together, Gemma puts Roy's hair and blood in a tube that she inserts inside the machine she has been working on. He wants to tell Joe he is his father, but he is too afraid to do it. During loop 249, Roy brings up the subject of Gemma's work, and Joe reveals he talked to her early in the morning after she did not return home. This shocks Roy, who always thought she was killed during the night, so now he starts a new plan to see if he can save her. After resetting the day, he sneaks back into the laboratories and shoots Venter and Brett while demanding answers. Brett confesses they had been trying to find out what she did to the Osiris spindle, because it seems she sabotaged it and now they cannot control the chain reaction she started. Venter realizes Roy is able to sneak in because the spindle is working, which means Gemma made him the missing mass. When looking at the security cameras, Roy finds out the exact time of Gemma's death, 14 minutes after he wakes up. After shooting himself to restart the day, Roy decides to try to save Gemma even if he only has 14 minutes to do it. As always, he kills the first assassin, but afterward, he makes the routine different by jumping directly from the window and into the helicopter. The gunman is kicked off before Roy threatens the pilot with a gun, ordering him to take him to Dino as fast as possible. Once he arrives, he takes the gunman's machine gun with him as he sneaks inside the building and uses it to kill all the assassins that are waiting together outside the door. From the pile of bodies, he takes a gun and Guanin's sword, and he shoots every guard on his way until he makes it to Gemma's laboratory, where she is being attacked by Brett. Roy does not hesitate to kill both him and Venter in seconds before reuniting with Gemma, who asks him how many tries it took him to get her. He lies and says it was only one, but Gemma sees the truth when he begins telling her all the things he has learned about Joe after promising her he is safe and no assassins are going after their kid. Gemma explains that there is no stopping the spindle, only restarting it. She made the missing mass inside the machine match Roy's DNA specifically, so if he enters the spindle, the day should reset for the last time and time would go back to normal, but she is not 100% sure of that. All this is just a theory, since this is the first time she managed to make the machine work and it was all done in a hurry to stop Venter. If time resumes, and Roy dies, he will be gone for real, but he thinks he has learned enough information to save both Gemma and Joe without much trouble. So after kissing Gemma, Roy enters the Osiris spindle and waits for the machine to use him to hopefully restart the day for the last time. Thanks for watching.